This is going to be a very short video, but hopefully you guys can help me out with this one. I've never understood why people are so adamant on defending anti-consumer business practices. Like, we've already discussed YouTube shills, toxic positivity culture in gaming, but I truly do not understand why this happens. This is a topic that I'm obviously very interested in. But here's the thing. For those who have been following my channel for a bit, we already know how toxic positivity is ultimately destructive to not just gaming discourse, but the industry as a whole. Of course, when you fail to hold a corporation or a studio or whatever accountable for delivering half-baked products for a full price, you're just normalizing the terrible behavior. I've already said this a million times, but it doesn't take a genius to understand that rewarding corporations who habitually exploit its fan base with false promises, false advertisements, broken releases, while also asking for a full price, it's most likely not a good idea. But unfortunately, people don't care about that. It's an unfortunate reality that we have to face. I know I haven't been on this platform for very long, but I've yet to hear or see any logical counter arguments. I've never encountered anyone who had a compelling argument against anything that I'm saying. Anytime someone has an issue with what I say or what you guys in the comments say, it's always emotional. It's always, bro, it's just a game. Why do you care? It's not that serious. Just let people have fun. It's always about feelings. And of course, if you happen to enjoy a game, it's whatever. But it's the blatant dishonesty that I have a problem with. It's the constant deflecting criticism, downplaying a game's flaws, shifting the blame to the consumers. It's complete nonsense. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen the discourse around Borderlands 4, but it's a complete mess. I've seen people blame the players for committing the sin of expecting the game to run properly. Even good old Randy was crashing out on Twitter. Consumers are expected to drop thousands of dollars and keep up with the latest graphics card, the latest CPU, the latest everything. And even then, it's not a guarantee that the game will perform well. They just tell you to turn on frame generation. They tell you to turn on the upscaling. Like, we don't have to do that, right? Like, we shouldn't have to do that. Consumers have to shoulder the burden for lazy developers, and we're constantly told by developers and even people in the community to just wait for a patch or be grateful that the team is working on fixing the game. Like, it's such a privilege to spend $70 on Borderlands 4. But I've never, and I mean never, met a person who could reasonably explain why people who think like me are wrong. So here's my question. Why is it on us to wait for a finished game? And when I say a finished game, I'm not simply talking about live service models like Helldivers 2. Obviously, those games get content updates. And honestly, I'm not even talking about minor bugs or glitches. Those are bound to happen. But why is it unreasonable for a paying customer to expect a game that is fully optimized, has sufficient content, does not suffer from game-breaking bugs, all on day one at a reasonable price? Why is it on us to support developers who don't care about us? And why do tourists feel comfortable enough to tell fans to go play a different game? You see, when you ask people these questions, you'll notice that they won't be able to form any sort of coherent argument. They're literally incapable of understanding why these things are bad. They don't understand why it's an objectively bad thing to defend corporations who take advantage of their players. I don't care what anyone says, it's not normal to accept half-finished games at full price. It will never be normal. I don't care how many times people tell me to stop whining. I don't care how many times people tell me that I'm too negative or too toxic. I don't care, because that's not an argument. And I will always call out creators who shill for terrible games and tell people to pretty much normalize this mindset. That doesn't excuse why modern gaming practices have gotten so one-sided to the point that any ounce of criticism is dismissed as hate. And that's why I appreciate you guys. I'm happy to see people from the Halo community, the Helldivers community, the Payday community who understand where I'm coming from. Because let's be real, this is not an issue that's confined to just a few games. This is pretty much universal in the entire industry. It seems like the gaming community in general has a problem with having standards and respecting themselves enough to know that funding projects that overpromise and underdeliver time and time again is destructive to the industry. And like I've always said, that's why we have to continue to highlight these issues to offset the amount of shills online who normalize its mindset. And I've also seen way too many games and franchises get killed because the developers released a broken game expecting people to buy it and just accept game-breaking bugs and poor optimization. And we will continue to see more and more of our favorite franchises get killed as long as developers think it's an acceptable business practice because a bunch of YouTube grifters, streamers, and Redditors told them that it is. But you know what? On the bright side, I've been seeing plenty of new small channels who are addressing the same issues. Again, it's perfectly fine and understandable to hold corporations accountable, but we need more people to specifically address the toxic positivity issue in the community. Hopefully it can help improve discourse and who knows, maybe even change some people's minds. But honestly, I think we're already doing a good job. It's not much, but it's definitely better than nothing, and I feel like in the future, enough people will understand where we're coming from. It's just kind of difficult right now because people genuinely think that we're just being hateful, but whatever. But yeah, if you made it this far, subscribe to my channel. I post videos like this weekly, and I'll also start to branch out to other topics in the future. I've been having a lot of fun here, and there's a lot of nonsense in the industry that I would love to talk about with you guys.